Mayank Shekhar is a film critic, journalist, and author. Currently, his reviews appear on a website named thew14.com. Today, we are discussing remakes in Bollywood. Okay, Mayank. See, these days we have seen a trend of remakes in Bollywood. What do you feel about it? Do you feel that high production values or concern about the box office return is the reason that filmmakers are now producing the blockbuster remake of South?
Well, you mean South alone or remakes in general?
See, generally right now I'm talking about the South.
Okay.
Because this is the duration where we have seen only South remakes.
Right. Well, it actually started with Gajni, which was 2008. It was not meant to be, strictly speaking, just a remake, but a film that had some elements of Memento in it, which was, the Christopher Nolan movie that was picked up from. And Amir Khan was a star, and I think he may have seen some potential in terms of playing two diametrically opposite characters and bringing back action as a genre. I think with the success of that film, we sort of started looking southwards purely for scripts at that time. It's not that it's the first time the remakes from the south are being done. Boni Kapoor has made his entire career out of remaking films from the south, and so have many producers in the past. So have people in the 80s too. In fact, in the 80s, Hindi movies used to be made in Hindi and in Telugu at the same time with two different stars, one being Jitendra, the other one being a South Indian star, on the same shoot and being released simultaneously. And Jitendra had done over 100 films in that span, in just one decade of these kind of cinema. So it's always been the case. But I think what you're seeing more of in it being a formula where every movie star wants to do that one particular movie began with Gajni, but really got cemented with Wanted, because Wanted was one film that nobody had expected would make the kind of money it did, purely because it was targeted largely at the single screen cinemas, and they hadn't known single screen cinema to generate that kind of revenue. So they realized that the audience really hasn't moved on, and in fact that audience is still there and can still be sort of pandered to. And if you can get the formula right, then you can get some of the guys from the cities to go to and spend money on the multiplexes as well. So I mean, all decisions in commercial film industry is taken on the basis of profit and loss and returns on investment. And to a producer who feels that 8 things have worked, they will make the 9th thing that looks like all the 8 things, as against put in a lot of effort towards making something new, because that is going to be, in his head, a much bigger risk to put in crores into.
Okay, so basically you somewhere agree that the box office return is a thing which makes them do remakes?
Absolutely. Any kind of formula is based on having low risks in investment. So having movie stars itself is a formula. There is no reason why all the top movies or the biggest investment in movies should go into movies that star Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan or Hrithik Roshan. The formula is that their past movies have led to a certain amount of footfall, and therefore if they are in the posters of subsequent movies, it will lead to at least this much of a return on investment. Likewise, every decision in that sense is a formulaic decision, and therefore belongs to the commerce of the film industry.
Okay, so what do you think, how far this trend will go on in Bollywood?
Well, the moment these movies stop doing well, it will stop. It's pretty simple. The moment you have a spate of films that are disasters because people are just absolutely tired of watching the same kind of cinema, it will stop getting made. It's as simple as that. So at some level you can keep blaming the film industry for what they do, or the filmmakers for the kind of films that they churn out, but really collectively the blame is always on the audience, because if the audience rejects something, if they choose to show that rejection by not buying a ticket, they will stop making those films.
So it's just that we are receiving it, they are giving us.
It's a chicken egg thing. But definitely we are happy to receive it. Therefore they're happy and lazy enough to churn it out all over again.
When we see the remakes, the one thing which comes in my mind is our script writers' lack of creativity. That is the reason we keep on seeing these remakes in all different languages. It's just not about South. Even we have seen the remakes of Bollywood flicks.
Yeah. Well, it's not a screenwriter's medium.
Okay.
You know, it's not run by the storyteller. It's run by the person who has the money or can guarantee you the money. So there are only two people. The person who has the money is the financier or the producer, and the person who can guarantee you the return, as it turns out, because it's a star system, is the movie star. Now, all decisions are taken either by the movie star or the producer, and the screenwriter comes fairly low in the hierarchy of decision making. He's told what to do. He can certainly shop around with a script, but and if a movie star likes it or if a producer likes it, good for him. But more often than not, he will be told what to do. So even if you have a script and you go up to someone and it's a great concept, but ultimately you can't make that film without someone putting in the money. If he tells you change these things, you will change those things.
Yes.
Which is not true for when you're writing a novel, which is not true for when you're painting on the canvas, which isn't true for when you're cooking. It is not true for any other art form which is far more individualistic in nature than cinema, which is only partly an art form. It's almost as much a commercial medium.
But see, Mayank, it's not just about the plot line.
Correct.
Here in the recent times, not just recent times, from long back we've seen that it's not just the plot line, even our music is being lifted from foreign tunes.
Yeah.
So what do you feel about that?
Well, there are two aspects to it. One, the plagiarism, so-called plagiarism, and when I say plagiarism, I really mean plagiarism. I mean someone copying a goddamn tune, right? Has always happened in Indian cinema. Right from R.D. Burman, right down to Pritham.
Okay? Exactly.
Some do it more blatantly. Some do it because they have no talent whatsoever. Everyone has different reasons of doing it, but it has always existed. Now, with music, one has to bear in mind that the level of output that any music composer has in Bollywood is incomparable to any music composer on this planet. So if you take a look at, say, someone like the Beatles, okay, or you take a look at something more contemporary like U2. U2 in their entire life would have done about 10 to 12 albums. Okay, Beatles would have done about 6 to 7 albums in their entire career. You can know all the songs of Beatles, right? R.D. Burman would have done at least 250 to 300 albums in his career. That's the disparity in output we're talking about. I think the amount of music that a Bollywood composer needs to create, and not just one kind of music. U2 does rock, right? What's her genre? Hip hop, right? Somebody else will be hip hop. Somebody else will be etc., 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 right? So with each artist, there is a genre attached. Even within that genre, they trash 80% of the stuff that they create and keep 10 or 20, and those are the albums that they showcase in a career, right? With a Bollywood composer, he has no genre. In a single album, he creates a qawwali also, a pop song also, a rock number also, a Sufi song also, right? So there is what I'm trying to explain to you is that I'm amazed that there isn't more plagiarism in Bollywood so far as music is concerned. Given the kind of stuff they need to create purely musically, with every genre, with that many albums in a year, with that many films, with that many situations given to them, etc., etc. I think at some point, you've been getting inspired. At some point, you will have no time and you will slip and you'll plagiarize. I'm not saying that makes it okay. It doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying, think of it from where they're coming. You've just lifted scenes and you call it your own. You're not crediting to anybody, right? You've lifted chunks. You lifted dialogue, you lifted bunch of characters. Now that is sure shot plagiarism, and whether you like it or not, it should be brought to the notice of the public, and it should certainly be condemned. And we know various examples of films where we don't condemn. We think it's a great movie just because we're an uninformed audience, and that person got away with stealing. If the same person had come to your house and stolen your DVD player, you would have taken him to the police. The same person comes and steals your idea, someone else's idea. I mean, it's the same thing.
So what we all come to know from this session, like, the remakes in Bollywood always existed, still it is existing, and it will exist till the time we are not stopping it, we are not rejecting it.
Formula films of all sorts will exist. A new formula will come, and the old formula will get rejected automatically by the audience, right? And so this is currently the formula, and at some point it will, Salman Khan is not going to rule Bollywood. He'll still come back, but that's the phase we're in.
Thank you so much
Thanks
for
a lot.
coming
Nice
here.
talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is me, Rubina Khan, signing off. Thank you.